We're back. Yes, I'm on business today.
Right.
All
right, guys. Welcome back to the Keeping the Frank podcast show. All right, guys. Welcome back to the Keeping the Frank podcast show with me, your boy, Keston Holiday Frank. What up? And you know who I'm with, man.
The one you like to look at, Trigger Trey.
Trigger Trey. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I put it together.
Okay. That's the t-shirts coming soon. Gotta go merch.
Right. I really need to.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, before we get started, we gotta cheers it up. Cheers. Hey.
I'm rude because I took a sip.
Yeah, I know.
I'm already lit because I just came from a brunch, so I'm sorry in advance.
Wow. That was the brunch. No invite to none of that shit. It's crazy.
No, it was cool. It was my friend's birthday.
Oh, yeah?
It was cute. It was nice. I had my little unlimited mimosas, you know.
Oh, so you came here ready to...
Came here ready. So who knows if my brain is going to be able to maintain for this whole conversation.
Well, let's see what happens.
Lord, I apologize in advance if I go on a tangent and it does not make sense.
All right, Sugar Trey. So what's today's episode going to be about?
I thought it would be good to talk about D&I, which is diversity and inclusion, because I saw something last week that just kind of like stuck in my mind. And I just thought it was like unfortunate how like the world has gotten so violent and aggressive nowadays. And I just feel like, you know, right now there's a push for diversity and inclusion. And it's like, are you really diverse and inclusive as a company? You know what I mean? Okay. I think there's two parts. So as Black people,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And I feel like we mentioned 2 episodes ago.
They ain't
like,
hiring me for shit. So
are they not?
You definitely not. You not diverse, niggas.
But it's like, I feel like I mentioned before, being creative, and we also kind of have our foot in the corporate regular job kind of realm, right?
Yes.
And it's like, are these companies really being diverse? Like, or are they just fronting? You know what I mean? And I think that's a real issue nowadays, because I feel like we mentioned before, everything is like Black heavy, push Blackness or whatever. And it's like, but y'all don't really mean that.
So question, like, to you, what do diversity look like?
I mean, it's having representation, I feel like, because you have companies that are supposed to be for everyone, right? Or are supposed to represent everyone, but then your higher ups don't represent everyone. Okay. You know what I mean? Like you have companies where...
But the ground level represent.
Right. Like so for example...
So your problem is mainly with the higher ups representation compared to...
I think so. I think you need to have a diverse mix of people that are in these leadership roles.
That's true. That's true.
So like, I feel like I came from like an interesting situation, right? So like my first job, I was in a corporate arena in a sense, right? But the thing that was different for me is like, where a lot of people, if you're the Black person in a corporate environment, you're usually the one Black person. Yeah. Whereas for me, it was the opposite. Like there was only 2 white people and everybody else was Black or Hispanic. So it was the complete opposite vibe.
Dope, man. Let's go, Black people.
Right. So, I mean, the CEO was Asian at the time that I was there. Like the
Shout
people.
out to Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and all. Yeah,
wow.
Man.
The people that we serviced, a lot of the employees that we serviced were West Indian, Black, Hispanic, like all minorities. You know what I mean? So it made sense that people that worked in this company also were representations of that, right?
Gotcha.
But now that there has been a shift, they got taken over. There was a lot of other fucked up shit that was going on, but that's a whole nother story. But now when you look at who are in the leadership positions, there's no minorities at all. Now, granted, I don't work there no more. But at the end of the day, they still service minority groups, nurses and, home health attendants and all that stuff. A lot of them are minorities.
And that's true because you can't.
The leaders are not.
Yeah, because then you can't really service somebody properly if you don't know about them or who they are.
If you can't relate to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's like, I mean, like I said, I came from a unique situation, but I think with a lot of these major companies that are pushing that they're so diverse and now they want to make sure that when they do commercials, there's a Black person in the commercial and there's all the, they're showing someone that's non-binary or someone that represents like just all these different things. But it's like, do you really mean that? Or are you just bullshitting or showing that as a vision just to get...
I think I'm with that. I mean, I feel like if you're a company that, want to push diversity, then make sure that you're doing it all
you
the way.
actually are diverse.
But also be real, man. If you don't want to push diversity, keep it shit 100. Let me know. I mean, this company are for whites.
But that's not the cool thing nowadays.
This company are for exactly. So just keep it 100. Keep it real.
That's the thing is that like that's the unpopular opinion nowadays.
Tommy Hill figured that's still a brand, and this nigga say he didn't want black folks rocking
his shit, right? I remember that.
That's still a brand though. They're still
true.
They're not black folks not really rocking them like that no more. But they ain't go out of business.
I mean, true, because but that also goes back to like how our other episode, we're talking about Black entrepreneurship, right? So it's like, if we're not going to support the companies that really support us and we're just supporting companies just because, like, does it really matter? Like, does it really matter if they decide that they're for us or not? Like, yeah, there's going to be some people like, cancel culture became a whole thing. But it's like, if we can't stand up or really support the companies that are truly for us, then is there really an argument? Is there really like a difference between if somebody is diverse or not? I just think it's funny that. Go ahead.
I think you gotta, but you have to know though. Like, you know what I'm saying, like,
there's no way to really know because these niggas be fronting.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you're right about that. But still, like, you have to do your research. Like, if you really about supporting black businesses, you know what I'm saying? If they're a white business, then you know who their CEO are. You know the CEO. They have no. You could tell most like they have no black folks in the higher positions or women or whatever high positions, and
but so
walk away from them.
I mean, true, but like so being as a black woman and as a black man, like working in these, or potentially eventually, maybe never again, who knows? But like when you end up working at these companies that like, are willing to hire you or willing to give you, a shot in any way, shape or form, you still have to deal with a lot in that space. You know what I mean? Like you have to deal with how people address you, how people talk to you, the things that they think that are okay to say to African Americans that really aren't when you think about it. Yeah. Like as a black woman, when it comes to like my hair, you know what I mean? Like in a corporate environment, like there shouldn't be a reason that like my hair should seem unprofessional because it's natural.
So when you was in a corporate environment, you had to wear your hair a certain type of way?
Oh no, I didn't give a fuck.
Okay.
Like, and I mean, again, I feel like my situation is a little different,
okay,
but
your company was more,
but I still dealt with that though. So it'd be your own people. Let me tell you. So
of course, yeah.
When I interviewed for the job, and now at this point, that's over 8-9 years ago. Right. My hair has been like this forever. All I know is how to twist my hair, wear it curly as an afro. So when I went to my interview,
twist that shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. When I went to my interview, this is how I looked. So my boss, my VP was black. My AVP was black. My supervisor was white. The manager, who was like kind of along with her, he was black. And my coworkers were like black, Hispanic, and then like another white dude, like, but like I said, it was in a sense very diverse. Yeah. But so I went to work like this. Some days my hair might end up bigger, because, my hair decides to defy gravity and grow on its own. But in general, like I wore my natural hair. And there were times where like, sometimes my hair would be twisted, sometimes it would be out, whatever. And even like my AVP, who was a black woman who unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but she would wear wigs, weave, like she never wore her natural hair. And I used to do a lot of presentations. And like there was one time it would be like, so are you going to take your twist out? Are you going to, I really like when your hair is like in this way. Are you going to do that? And I was like, no, this is my hair. My hair does not take away from the job that I'm doing. I don't look like I don't take a shower. I don't look like, you know what I mean? Like I don't look unkept, but just because that's something you're not used to, then it's like, oh, but I like it when it's the other way. And it's like,
she's brainwashed. She's black, right?
No, she's Jamaican.
Yeah, she was brainwashed, basically.
Right. And it's like,
she's the way society make them feel like, well, let's straighten your hair out. Let's make sure you out here look like, those people instead. That's yourself. So,
but I even had someone come in, like someone that used to work in HR, and tell me specifically that they didn't want my hair to hold me back from moving up in the company. And I said, but why would it, when I do an amazing job in my job? You know what I mean? Like, y'all use me for everything. I'm better than people that have worked here longer than me. But now you're telling me that my hair, because it's in an afro, might hold me back from moving up in the company. Why? Like, why would that be? You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's unfortunate that, like, in these companies, that sometimes even to be your own people that are brainwashed to think that you have to fit into this certain way in order to move up.
Because that's how they got up, though. You know what I'm saying? They got up because, you know, they basically
fit in and
they played the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like you said, like, they're brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what is acceptable, right? And to be acceptable, you have to try to look at you have to try to look like, you know, those other people as best as possible.
I guess there's a statistic I want to share. So my Neo,
we out here. We got
little statistics.
Ooh, we going up, yo. We going up here. I'm trying to say, you getting up there, man. We got, you know, I mean, I can't even say that word, but we got that.
What? I don't know what you're drinking. Whatever's in your cup today is a little stronger than what I've been drinking.
Can't
clearly.
say that word, but we got that. You got we got
statistics.
Got statistics.
Oh wow. Okay. Whatever. So my Neo actually works in diversity and inclusion, right? Okay. And I was trying to get her on here, but you know, with her schedule, she's taking classes and whatnot now.
Gotcha.
But Coach Naomi on, you know, YouTube, Instagram, website, all of that stuff. Her name is Morgan, but she uses her like
Coach
little name. But so like what she was, I was talking to her about just like, you know, because she tries to coach people on how to like properly move up and negotiate your salary in like these in corporate America, especially being a Black person in these environments. But speaking as a Black woman, I thought it was interesting that she told me that like, especially when we're talking about leadership positions and people that are CEOs or have these high positions, there are not that many Black women that holds like the title of CEO in these like major like Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah,
so she said right now that, which I think is very interesting that she said this.
Okay.
There are more white CEOs named John than there are Black female CEOs in like all of like the major companies.
Well, let me start by saying a duh.
But is it like when
we know that
when I was asking her those things, like for that to be like there are more named John?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, John is a very, I don't want to say basic ass name, but it's kind of a basic ass name. Yeah. But it's like, damn.
Yeah.
So there's Mad Johns, but there's only like 3, maybe like Black women that are CEOs.
And what's their names?
What, the Black women?
Yeah.
I don't have that written down.
Come on now.
I don't have that written down. I'm sorry.
You have to get all the way.
I'm sorry. You want me to Google that now?
We got
you continue to speak. I'll Google it right now. Let's see. Statistics? You can't pronounce statistics?
We got statistics.
Wow. Horrible.
Who is these 3 Black women?
You need hooked on phonics? We got to go back there.
Let me get that. What up?
Let's see.
What's their names?
These are... Since 1955, this says, there were a total of only 19, not just women, but just in general, like Black CEOs.
Well, Black men, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's why I said it's just 19.
Let's get some respect out here. Let's get some respect in our names, man.
Yeah, only 19 Black CEOs out of 1,800.
That's big.
And that was starting from 1955. Only 19.
This is like in popular like companies, like
Fortune 500 companies.
Gotcha.
Fortune 500, and I think for Black women, that number obviously is even smaller. There's only like 3 that have ever held that position.
You ever saw there's a documentary about like names, and it's like the importance of names and stuff like that. You just mentioned the whole thing with John. And I wonder like what's those the Black women names and stuff like that.
Oh, the Black women's names.
Yeah, or Black people in general. Like what was the names of people who held those positions.
Well, there was somebody, the first one was named Clifton Wharton, was the first black CEO ever of a major U.S. corporation back in 1987.
Clifton sounds white. There you go, like that. Good.
So you think it had to do with maybe like...
Maybe.
I mean, I understand that is a thing. But I also feel like nowadays people name their children such random ass names. Even the white folk be naming their children some random ass names nowadays.
But they got money to do, like you see a white person.
You saying they got money to do that now?
You ever see some celebrities, like they name their kids like Apple or something like that?
I was just about to say Apple.
Come on, now they have the money to do that. They can name their kids. That kid is going to be good. Apple is going to be all right.
You think so?
Apple's
even named Apple?
Apple.
They won't have to really worry about being a CEO, huh?
Yeah, Apple's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that like Gwyneth Paltrow's?
I think so, yeah.
Right? He's going to be all right. Look who mama is. He's going to be all right.
True.
You know what I'm saying? If your name is Apple in the hood, like you're not going
to be okay.
You're going to be like, what the hell did they...
But there's a lot of factors, I guess, that like unfortunately hold black people back. Sometimes I think it can be our own mindset in the sense of like you feel like there's this ceiling. And a phrase that my Neo used was the difference between a glass ceiling versus like a concrete ceiling. Mm-hmm. So she was saying that like for black people that like it's more of a concrete ceiling versus like for like white women and white men, it's like, yeah, it's glass, but you learn how to break through that glass ceiling. Whereas like sometimes for black people, like you can't break through concrete as much as you try to move up in some of these companies, you're never going to get there. So like, that's why she tries to coach people as to how to like maneuver in corporate, America, and how to like try to position yourself and present yourself in a way that you can push past, this blockage. And I think it's unfortunate that there is even a fucking blockage that is that hard. Like, it shouldn't be that difficult if you're doing your job and you do it well. Like, it shouldn't matter what the fuck your name is. It shouldn't matter, like, kind of what you look like.
This is why I believe in being a creative. Create your own opportunities, create your own ways. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reality is, like, you're trying to move up the corporate ladder. Like, that's going to be difficult no matter who you are. Like, especially if you like a black man, black woman, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be difficult regardless. You know what I'm saying? A black man, you're not getting no chances out here.
They be having some chances. Put some respect
on our black man's name, man.
Like, I always thought it was cool that I had a black VP in my department. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was dope. And he was a cool guy. Like, there were some things that I'm sure we agreed to disagree on and how he handled things. But it was like, I just thought it was cool that you were at that level. You know what I mean? And that was one thing that I really did appreciate about the company that I used to work for. Like, it was diverse. Like, even in the cafeteria, they used to have posters of like Biggie, Jimi Hendrix, Tupac. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't.
But you said the company kind of changed,
now,
right?
Yeah, the whole shit is different.
And I think it's because you had Biggie.
You think so?
Hendrix.
You think that caused everything?
It's like
I mean, the CEO was embezzling money, but
we walked in the Sauce Awards. What did we walk into over here?
But it was dope to be in that environment where it was like you really could relate to people and not feel like.
So you never been in the environment. That's your only environment corporate wise. Have you been the opposite where it's like, wait. So that's
been my only corporate job.
Got you.
Like, but before that, I worked at Radio Shack. And I feel like the one kind of like thing that I had to deal with was that when people would come in, they didn't think I knew shit. Like, even though I worked, and I felt like I was a young black woman in an electronics store, and they didn't think I knew shit about parts when I knew everything about the fucking parts. So people would go past me. I would be the first one. Hi, how you doing? They would go past me and go to the guy, and he would come back to me asking me, hey, they're looking for
I'd be like, son, first of all, who are you? Like, why don't you know this? Why don't you know this joint right
now? But it's like, I was there I worked there from high school throughout college. So like, I was there for a long time, you know what I mean? Whereas like people that came in after me, just because they were men, that people went up to them first because they felt like, well, the man would know more about electronics and I'm here to get an adapter or some light bulb or whatever.
I feel similar.
But I was the one that knew all the shit.
Yeah.
I knew every part and everything, like, because I was interested in that. So I think it's unfortunate that like, people, I mean, you can't necessarily change everybody in society's view. Yeah. But I think like when you're in these companies and like you really present yourself in a way that is, you deserve like the title, the money, the you know, all this stuff, and then you still don't get it. That shit is crazy.
I go to Home Depot, like, my mans. You know what I'm saying?
You said Home Depot. What does Home Depot have to do with?
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I see a, I'm saying, like, I never put like, excuse me, ma'am, do you know what like, hold up.
So you're trying to say you're sexist also? You go to Home Depot, you're gonna go to the man first? Is that what you're saying? You go to the man first.
I do go to the man first, actually. That's kind of expected that nigga should know some stuff
more
about
in Home Depot.
Yes, nigga, you better know some shit.
But see, you probably very surprised. There's probably a lot of women that know more shit. I knew people that were managers in Home Depot.
Yeah,
women.
I'd be hella surprised. In fact, that's a fact. Like, the hell?
That's unfortunate that you go to. I challenge you. Next time you go into a store like that where you think a man would know more, ask the woman.
Okay.
And see
I'm
what
recorded
happens.
too. Like, she's like, excuse
I
me.
hope she knows what the fuck she's doing.
She better know that, because I'm gonna hit you up like, yeah, she ain't know shit.
I hope she knows what she's doing. I hope so. But anyway, I hope she does, because then I'm gonna be upset if she doesn't know what she's doing.
You'll be bad.
But I think,
I'm not hella surprised. Like, when I come across a woman who knows certain things about certain things, just I feel like, you know, if I go to like electronic stuff, I go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something, like, I expect this dude to know what the hell he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you expect the man to know what he's talking about. But why can't the woman know what she's talking about if she worked there?
Okay.
I'm just saying, men can be real dumb. They might. There's a lot of men out here.
Don't come about people's like that.
There's a lot of men out here that are not handy at all.
Like, I'm surprised when I see dudes that don't know how to fix anything.
There are a lot of men that don't know how to fix shit. So, and as a woman that has lived on her own for a long time, I know how to put shit together and put some shit up.
You know how to read instructions. I got you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a lot of men that will sit there and be like, I'm going to just call and pay somebody to do this when you're supposed to be handy.
Hell nah. Just show me the picture.
You're supposed to be the handy
Just show me the picture. I know the rest. I got the rest.
Horrible.
Just show me the picture. I know the rest. I got everything else. I got it.
You supposed to be the handy.
You bring instructions. Get out here. Show me the box.
That's why y'all always fuck some shit up.
Show me the box. I don't need the instructions. Show me the box. I got this.
That's why you always fuck a lot of shit up. Anyway, back to the important topic at hand, like we were talking about. But like I mentioned, what I saw last week, which I thought was very it was disturbing for me in the time that we live in. Okay. Right. And I'm not saying that people can't disagree. People can have their own opinion. I just think it's unfortunate that today things have become so aggressive and violent instead of just having your opinion and living your life. Right. So there was a congresswoman that has a trans child. So a trans daughter. So biologically born a son, but has now transitioned to be a woman. Right. And they just passed the bill in the House, at least, for no discrimination for the LGBT community. Okay. Right? Which is like, to me, I just feel like, why should you be discriminated against just because of
already a thing, though. But
you thought, but it's definitely not. And there's still a lot of states that just for the fact of coming out as gay, lesbian, trans, you can lose so many things. I think we're lucky that we live in New York, that New York is a very liberal and mainly Democratic state, that we don't have to worry about a lot of those things. But when you think about all those other states, it's like, it's insane that what other people have to deal with. But they passed a bill for no discrimination, for equality. You should not be discriminated against just because of your sexuality, right? Yeah. And that congresswoman who has a trans daughter put the trans flag in front of her office. In solidarity. There's a trans flag.
That was just straight the
rainbow? No, there's different colors for each one. Another flag? There's multiple flags, yes.
Oh, shit.
There's a flag for bisexuality. There's a trans flag. There's everyone that has different colors.
All rainbow? There's a different...
No, it's like, I think the trans flag is like a light blue and... I can't remember the other color, but there's different colors for each one.
I'm learning different shit every day. That's crazy. I thought it was one flag. You know what I'm saying?
Which is but I mean, like, but having that conversation, I feel like is okay. Like if there's something that you don't understand or that you're not privy to. Like, it's fine to ask those questions.
So too, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't even want to ask those questions, and I feel like it's okay
because
too.
sometimes asking those questions, that shit turn into something else. It's like you ask a question, it's like, oh, what are you trying to say?
No. Like it depends on how you come across.
And I feel, as I'm saying, like as a straight man, I feel like, if you ask a question about anything dealing with like whatever the case is and shit, if you have an opinion about something, or if you say something about something, it's just like the way they come at you is a little different. Like as a woman, you could do whatever the case is, but a straight man can't say too much.
I think it's how you do it, but we're gonna come back to that really quickly. So, just to finish my brief little story about the congresswoman, right? Yeah. So like, she put the flag of solidarity for her daughter in front of her office. And the other congresswoman, I'm forgetting her name, but the one that's crazy, that believed in like QAnon and all that other shit. QAnon, that terrorist group or some shit that Trump was really like he didn't know, but then didn't know. Who knows? Whatever. She put in front of her office, there are only two sexes, male and female. Trust the science. Right? Okay, your office is right across from the lady's office who has a trans child. Cool. But then she tweets that same congresswoman and says, your biological son, who is a trans woman now, but she purposely wrote, your biological son should not be able to like use the bathroom with my daughter, some shit like that.
Gangster.
But so my thing with that, right, is like,
it's crazy.
You can disagree. You can say, like, you know what I mean? You can disagree. You can say you don't agree with it. You don't believe in it or whatever, but you don't have to be so violent about it. Like, I have my beliefs. I do believe in equality for all. I do believe that like there shouldn't be a reason that someone should be discriminated against just because they choose to love someone of the same sex, or because they choose, like, they decide that they were born a man, but they feel like they should have been a woman. Like, but does that stop how you do your job? No. Does that stop how the type of person you are in society? No, like, no. So I don't feel like I at least feel like you shouldn't be attacked for your choice. There's a lot of straight white men that do a lot of shady, dirty, ratchet shit.
Yeah, not straight black men. You know that.
But I purposely said straight white men just because they're supposedly, higher in society, whatever, that like to do a lot of either kinky, ratchet shit. And it's like, but you're not stopped from becoming a CEO.
That's the Weinsteins and everything out there. I see.
But that's a serious thing. So it's like, I think it's really unfortunate that even has to be a law that has to be fucking passed when niggas was gay from ancient times.
That's a fact. There's a fact. That shit been for a long time.
It's been like people has been gay, people have been trans, people have been all of that.
I mean, I don't know about all that extra stuff.
No, they have been. There have been trans people from back then. Did they sit there and call
surgeries and stuff?
But I mean, well, surgery is one thing. But I'm saying like from then that either. Okay, like just the cross-dressing, right?
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
but even still, like some people, yes, they just like to dress in like drag queens, stuff, right? Yeah. Some people might just like to dress in. There's a difference between gender identity and sexuality, right? So some people might just enjoy dressing up as a woman. Some people feel like they should have been a woman, that they are a woman. And then some people actually are either gay, lesbian, or whatever. Like those are different points. But it's like... So
you're saying there's like straight drags?
Yeah.
Really?
There's men that probably crazy. There's men that like women but still like to dress up in women's clothing. Oh, I definitely believe it.
That's crazy.
They are out there. Mm-hmm.
You said they're out there. You don't know they're out there.
They are out there. They are out there.
That's crazy stuff.
Everybody has their kink, their freak, maybe we should have a conversation about fetishes and things. Yeah. Everybody has their little fetish.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Everybody, if it could be feet. It could be.
You gotta think about this whole feet thing. You mentioned the whole like it's not the first time. It's like whenever you talk about some shit, like the first thing it could be feet.
Because I feel like I have nice feet, so I feel like I should be paid for people seeing my feet. I feel like I should, but yeah, I know. I'm trying to go back to what I was talking about because now you went on to the whole feet thing. I'm gonna start my OnlyFans about my feet. Right?
OnlyFans feet.
I'm gonna give a discount to everybody that subscribes. I'm joking.
It's crazy.
But yeah, it's just I just think that's sad that in today's world that there has to be a department to talk about diversity and inclusion, there has to be laws that has to be passed to help people feel included and safe. And I'm just like, it's crazy. Let people live their own lives.
It's always been a thing, you know what I'm saying, where that you have to kind of like, you know, push those buttons. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to, as black people, we're in it too. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like they didn't want to allow us to work in certain places or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So we're the same boat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's always been a thing. Like we have to, you know what I'm saying? Dr. King and everybody have to fight for, you know what I mean, civil rights and everything. So I mean, it's always been around. Sad to say.
But I think it's really, I think it's sad. I think it's sad. Like, I don't know if I feel like there's a difference between skin color, right? Versus sexuality. Because I feel like sexuality is not something that you necessarily wear, right? Like, you know what I'm saying when I say wear? Like, you're black, I see you're black. You can't hide that you're black, right? Whereas like someone in their home, they, you know, are gay or lesbian, bisexual, you know, whatever. That's not something that you go outside and you can hide your sexuality in a sense. You can't look at someone and say, oh, they're definitely gay, because they might not be. They're stereotypes. That's but at the end of the day, someone can look gay and they might not be gay or, you know, appear, you know, whatever. So sometimes I wonder, like, not to say that I think...
People like, oh, that nigga gay right here. Oh, he got a bad man.
Right. And there's some guys that I've even spoken to that like I've thought were gay, but they was trying to get at me. And in my head, I was just like, but you have mad gay tendencies. You know what I mean?
I'm this old head in the hood was like, yo, listen, man, you gotta watch out for these girls out here, because they be smashing these gay dudes out on the low.
But it's like, you never know.
Yeah, smashing these gay dudes on the low, then they mess with you.
You never know. But crazy. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to say like one is more like important than the other, but I just think like what you decide to do in your own home, in the sense of like who you decide to love, really shouldn't affect how you do a job.
No, it shouldn't. I mean, it's a comfortability thing though. I think that's the whole thing. Like people are, you know, I think it's just like you said, it's sad to say, but it's a fact. Like some people are uncomfortable with, you know, people expressing themselves a certain kind of way. And
but why
I ain't gonna lie. So like a couple years ago, you had I forgot this football player, and he came out right now. He was already out, I guess. He's a gay football player, whatever. Right. So we watching damn, what's that name? Michael Sands. I forgot his name. So we watching the NFL draft, right? And this is something that, you know, you watch this like for years, right? Watching the draft, seeing who's coming out, who's the top picks and everything, right? And this dude, and they mentioned, they say his name, he came up, you know what I'm saying? The camera cut to him, right? And he kissed his boyfriend. He was like, oh, what the hell? Like,
so everybody was upset.
He was like, what the listen, be who you are, my man, but this is the draft, baby. This is the draft, man. I want the draft to see this going on over here.
But if somebody was kissing their wife or their girlfriend, everybody would have been fine.
So what?
Everybody would have been like, okay.
There you go, my man. Oh, yeah, the white girl? Okay, say it with the white girl, baby.
It's just... Everybody would have been fine. No one would have felt the type of way.
My man's coming up. Yeah, you darker than Wesley Snipes or the white girl. I see you, baby.
But I feel like everybody does things in the dark that like... It's crazy than how they try to act in public. To be honest, like people will be out here bashing homosexuality, and at home in the dark, they be at the gay sex parties. You know what I mean?
What's dude? Was that Mr. C? Mr. C, he was getting caught with like the transgender.
There's a couple people that have been caught with trans.
Dwight Howard too. Dwight Howard. He got caught with the trans, and Mr. C is is the...
Nah, but trans women be bad as hell. I'm just saying. They are some bad looking bitches.
Not saying.
Have you not seen what? I promise you, if I was to show you a bunch of pictures of some trans women, you wouldn't even know if which one was trans or not.
First of all, I don't know how niggas get caught up on that shit. I need to get tricked on that shit. Hell nah.
They really, when they embody
see, nowadays you gotta be careful out here. Butters, gotta be careful out here, man.
So you check the Adam's
apple. You can get that removed. You can get that removed. That's not a problem. You can get it shaved down a little bit so it's a little more. Yeah.
What the hell is going on in this world we live in, man?
It's just, but what people get plastic surgery all the time. They get their boobs done, their ass done. What's the difference?
So you can shave your Adam's apple down?
Yeah. Wow. Same thing. Same way people get boobs put in or taken out. Same way people take hormones and all of a sudden they have facial hair and all this stuff. You can become whoever you want.
You saw the commercial and shit? Well, it was a commercial. It was I think it was on like YouTube. It's like some virtual show. I don't think it was on TV and shit. I don't see it on TV. It was like, I bleed. I bleed. I bleed. It was a bunch of like, you think it's dudes saying this shit, but it was like trans. You saw that joint? It was like, oh, we bleed too.
I didn't
see that joint?
Blood, you see blood too, everything.
It's not too graphic. No, it's not graphic. I don't know about all that.
It's not real.
Because people are human beings at the end of the day.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like, but the point is that it's unfortunate that you have to try to convince people that everyone is a human being, regardless of what they look like or what they choose to enjoy at home.
Here's a question. So, you know, we're entertainers and stuff like that as well, right? And within the, you be seeing it where people get upset because someone played a gay role, but that person was straight. And it's like, oh, we got gay people that's actors and stuff too. You even see where somebody is like disabled, right? Like the Kevin Hart movie. I think they was mad with Bryan Cranston because he was like a paraplegic, right? And then not too long ago, I think somebody was mad with T.I. because one of the movies he played on Netflix, he had like, you know, when your skin is turning color, he had the
like a, what is it, vitiligo?
Yeah, he had that joint. And they're like, oh, we have actors and actresses who have vitiligo.
I mean, but they started saying that now.
It's so crazy that, I think it's crazy that against the representation thing, it goes too far sometimes, right? Like, all right, cool. Like, you have someone who, I mean, you have a like a gay role or some shit like that, and you got somebody who, you know, somebody straight to play that role, but you mad because you didn't get a gay person to play it, or you mad because you didn't get a trans person to play it, or you mad because what if that person just couldn't act? Or you mad because that person that is playing, you know, like they have mental disability, and you get somebody who has to play that role. Like, what if that person just can't act and shit? I think something that goes too far sometimes. It's like, all right, cool, man. Like you talking about the quality. When we talked the last episode, we were talking about the quality, like just having things with good quality. What if that person just can't act? Like, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, they started saying that about like British actors. Like, you have there's a lot of international actors that come to America and they get these roles when you have like a ton of American actors that could be in these roles or whatever.
I just think it's all about who does the best job. Like the Harriet Tubman movie. They was mad because Shorty who played Harriet Tubman,
Cynthia,
right, was an American.
Right. There's a lot of actors that aren't. But I think the issue comes down to like the struggle of representation, right? Because like as an actress myself, there's usually one black role.
Okay.
There's 50 million different white movies, right? And unless you're doing like an all black movie for them, and we already talked about quality sometimes of black stuff, black movies or whatever, but it's like if you're doing like a great quality film and that happens to be backed by these major company production whatever, there's usually the one typical black role, there's the one typical gay role, there's the one, you know what I mean?
So now you gotta make sure you do your due diligence to make sure that your acting is on point.
But I mean, but even with that, to be honest, and I feel like that's a whole other conversation of like, when people pick people because of their name, because of their following, instead of possibly giving it to somebody that might not have a name but can still act. And that's where it comes down to. Because there's things even that I see that I was like, well, damn, there's these young black characters, these black women that maybe look like me. I ain't even getting an audition for it. But it's like, because maybe they have more, they're just more known. That might not necessarily mean they're a better actor. But just because they have a name.
Now, I feel you on that, but if they can act, then yeah. If you deserve the role because of your skill or you put in the work, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, like you read lines and all that other stuff. You put in the work to make sure, like, you know, your audition is on point, or, you know, you left that audition like, all right, cool, they're gonna remember me because, you know what I'm saying, I did my thing on that.
Yeah, but sometimes people feel like they don't even get the opportunity, which is the issue. Like, you're not even giving me the opportunity to show you that I can act. Well, I can do this job.
But that's on them and their representative.
No, that's usually on the production, you know? and who they choose to audition. That's on them. I don't get to say I want to audition for that. Let me audition. They say we want to see this person to audition. So it's like, if you're only calling people that already have a following, that have, you know, whatever, and you don't give anyone else an opportunity to even audition.
So now I feel you on that. My thing is, all right, so you put a casting call out, right? So we did a
not everybody does that, though.
We did a casting call for this show called Fight City that we was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I had to sit down and watch all these people come through and read lines, right? We was in a spot in the city. We did that. And not everybody was good. Some people was good. Some people really, I remember, like, some people I left, I was like, nah, definitely that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to come in with something. You know what I'm saying? You have to
yes.
So if you don't have it, shit. Really, like.
But not every company has just an open casting call. A lot of the times you have to be chosen to even audition.
So then your representative have to get you in those doors.
But sometimes it's not even up to them. They can send your picture, and they can, like, so. As an actress, I've been following a lot of casting directors and how they do stuff, and this is completely going on a tangent. But it's like they'll get a bunch of submissions, like, okay, you know, there's a role, black girl, whatever the age, and every agent will send every black girl that they have, all their headshots.
There's a lot of people. And
the casting director will say, we want to see that person, that person, that person, that person, that person. So it's like, sometimes it's not even up to my agent to, you know, like, they can try, they can push, they can whatever, but if they say they don't want to see me, they don't want to see me.
Because the first step is to have a dope headshot.
True.
And if you need a dope headshot, come to Keston Frank. You know what I mean? That's what I do. Third Eye Media, you know me, photography.
Right.
That's what I do. So come to Keston Frank, IG. We'll talk about it.
But it's like, sometimes you don't get the opportunity. And I think that's what a lot of people argue about, especially when it comes to, well, you just automatically picked someone that has this following and they're British, when you could probably audition a lot of American actors and they can be just as good. Like, there's a lot of singers that I'm sure that don't have a following that are so good. I don't think
she got it because she was British. I don't know what her numbers looking like. You know what I'm saying? I think she got it because of her work. What's your work looking like?
It's a possibility. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I just felt like when that whole thing went down, I just felt the hate. I was watching certain, like, things on YouTube, and certain people was like, you know, black people was like, oh, I don't like the fact
you're not wrong, you know but it's like they probably still did not. It wasn't like they probably had an open casting call.
Like, Harriet Tubman was a black American. I'm like, okay, shut up.
You know, I mean, some people are definitely less are so sensitive than nowadays than they used to be. Like, people can't even make regular ass jokes no more. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like the issue, even tying it back around to like what we're initially talking about, like the issue is not having the opportunity. And it's like, as black people in regular ass jobs, as black people even in the entertainment business, in the creative field, sometimes you don't even get the opportunity to showcase that you are capable of doing all of these things that a white male or female can do. And that's the problem.
So my thing now is, you know, what's the resolution? Because are we always going to continue to wait for them to pass a law or pass a bill? I mean, I like what Damon Wayans. He was talking about they were talking about what Keenen Ivory Wayans told him, right? Because when he went to Hollywood, he brought his whole family out, and he was like, "Listen, at the end of the day, we're gonna work on writing. As long as you can write your own scripts, write your own movie, you'll always have an opportunity." So it's the same sense of creating your own lane. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do, we're going to continue to wait for someone else to give us these opportunities, chances, or we're going to go and take it and create our own, you know what I'm saying, our own thing.
But I think that's now what has become a big thing. Like how we mentioned, it's just like push Black everything, you know?
Quality though. Quality Black everything.
Quality Black everything.
Yeah.
But it's like there has been a push for that because I think like now it has become very frustrating that it's like there's this little window of who can squeeze through like and be one of the 3 Black female CEOs. Like, why can't there be more? Like even the fact of like, I mean, now we have a Black vice president, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it took this long and was such an uproar as to why like a Black woman couldn't be in such a leadership position. It's like that shouldn't be a problem.
I mean, it's changing. And listen, we not too long we just had our first Black. I mean, Black male president. So
true.
I mean, end of the day, like it's going to change. I mean, it changes. I mean, slowly but surely, whatever the case is. You know, like I forgot what book it was. They mentioned that the fact that we've. You know, they're talking about like slavery and how like how long we've been out of slavery.
It hasn't been that long.
We've been slaves longer than we've been free. So I mean, you gotta understand, like some of it is them still trying to hold us down. They still want us in the fields in the house. Fields, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And you know, some of it is just what it is. So I mean, listen, it's changing. We still got time on our side. Time is still ticking, it's still going. So I mean,
I'm interested to see, especially with these companies that have put in place these D&I departments and these D&I managers and, you know, all these people that work in this field. I'm really interested to see how that continues though. Like, are you really going to continue to push that or not? And before we close, I do want to add this because I feel like, you know, before we wrap up.
Gotcha.
One thing that my Neo recommended for people.
Recommendations, guys.
Recommendations. I got to end on a good note.
We got recommendations now. Let's get go.
We got to end on a good note. I do feel she recommended that, especially if you are a Black, Asian, Hispanic, gay, lesbian, whatever category you fit into, and you work in a corporate environment and you feel like you do not have the certain resources, or if they might have a D&I department, but you still need some help. She thinks that it's important to establish an employee resource group at your company, which a lot of some employers have, but sometimes you have to be the one to start it. Where it's basically just like a place that you can have resources for your group. So you can have a Black employee resource group, an Asian employee resource group, the LGBTQ employee resource group, like that. Like you can have your own resource group where you can have events to come together, resources to help each other, like all that type of stuff. Like
treat the shit like college, basically. Just create your own groups and shit.
You can have, you know, host panels where it's like other Black corporate entrepreneurs, whatever it is, but it's something that helps you continue to grow and develop in your corporate space, but in the group, the minority group, or, you know, that you're in. So I wanted to at least share that because I think it's important if you are staying in the corporate arena, you know, that you put yourself in the best light. Okay. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you for sharing that, Trigger Trey.
I try.
And may I add, you look very spiffy in your glasses.
Oh, thank you. These are my new glasses, okay? From, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I want to say Zilu, but I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Why you like this, man? Like, you supposed to be on point with your promotion and stuff like that.
Zeeelool. I mean, how you pronounce that?
How am I supposed to push this into these niggas?
But I want to know. Zeelool. Zilu, right?
Yeah.
Right? Lou. Whatever.
You sound crazy.
I ordered 5 glasses from them. Awesome.
You gotta look them up and be like, all right, because now I'm gonna send this shit to these niggas.
Yo, I've been tagging them in my pictures, like, sponsor me, boo. Okay,
all right.
Give me a coupon code because I'm gonna order more glasses, and I would really appreciate a coupon code.
All the glasses look like that?
They're all different.
Yeah.
And they're prescription.
Okay.
And I'm not that blind, so my prescription was cheap.
That's crazy.
So I love all of these glasses.
These glasses right here.
Wow, we could have been studious together. Why weren't you studious with me?
There you go.
We could have been studious together.
These glasses is from Nautica.
Wow.
Last we heard that name. Huh? Mm-hmm. Put that in your pip and smoke it.
Whatever. But yeah. try to, equality for all, man. Equality for all.
Listen, end of the day, I believe in equality. I don't care who you are, what you do,
who you
whatever
love.
the case is. Who you love who you love. Most shorties out here for me. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this shit cracking.
Look, there's a lot of gay women out there too. Best believe.
Okay. And some be bad as hell too. I be like, shit.
Ain't nothing. Look.
God damn. So hurt my heart when I see a bad chick. I'm like, damn.
Cause
like
you can't. Cause
I like what you like. But again, you don't like what I like. God damn.
You gotta love who you love. Do what you do. Enjoy it all. Okay. Enjoy.
Well, guys, this has been another incredible episode of Keeping It Frank podcast show with your boy Keston Frank and Trigger Trey.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Definitely follow us on Instagram on Keeping It Frank 100 on Instagram. Definitely check this episode out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and definitely because we out here for real on YouTube.
We outside.
Getting our YouTube on, so definitely go on Third Eye Media Network on YouTube. And check us out, Third Eye Media Network. Keeping It Frank podcast is on there. We got other shows coming up. Boom, Keep It Frank. We out. Boom.
Hey. Peace. Ew. I came in with the ad libs.